and then we can get you on your way. So, what is all this brokerage inside of a brokerage thing? And how do you start collecting hundreds of referral fees every month? Should be a pretty compelling topic, but not something we've ever really heard in the real estate space, right? So we're gonna walk through that today. Here's what my goal would be. For every agent that I work with, my goal, doesn't mean it's yours, would be to help you build your listing and referral brokerages so that 18 to 24 months from now, you can do it faster, you can do it slower, it's completely up to you. 80% of your income is coming from referral fees, and 20% would come from closing real estate transactions. The goal in that would be if we could use referral fees to level out, smooth out what we always joke about as roller coaster income. One month we're rich, the next month we're poor. What if it didn't have to be that way? What if we had a way to take and do that? Well, the truth is we do. And so we're going to share that with you today. See, one of the things, I found this article a couple of months ago from Bill Gates, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to say, hey, you don't really need to go get a college education to get rich. That wasn't what the article was about. It was a very simple thing. He said, hey, if you want to become incredibly wealthy, however you choose to define it, it could be monetary, it could be, I just want to be able to, have all this free time, whatever it is to you, whatever wealthy means to you, you have to have a business that's capable of scaling. By that he means, well, relying on more than just you. That the revenue comes from other places other than just you. Otherwise, your upside will always be capped and your downsides will be unlimited. When we started talking to Pat about doing this, I said to him, well, how many transactions can you do every year on your own? 20, 25, 30, 35, whatever the number is. I'll just use 30 because the math is easy. And his average commission's about $7,000. Well, dude, the most you're ever going to make is $210,000. Or we have to revamp your business. Now, if you're happy at $210,000 and then you got taxes and expenses, right? He's got 3 young kids and all that. Is that something that, are you going to be able to live the lifestyle and, sleep at night on that net? He's like, no. Great. Well, then we got to take and start to scale. Well, if he had what I just showed you, he had all these listings, but now he had agents to work with the buyers, and his time was spent focusing on the listing, and he had revenue coming in from the overrides from the buyer's agents, and an override from his brokerage of a few $1,000s a month. Now he could scale. Well, what's the brighter way to do it? Well, it's kind of obvious, right? So how do we do something like that? So here's the decision I will ask you to make today, because I'm only going to ask you for one. This is it. You either have a real estate job or a real estate business. Which one do you want? So the only decision today, job or business. Well, what's a job look like? If that's how you feel, that you're constantly on a hamster wheel. You move from one transaction to the next, to the next, to the next, and you suffer that cash flow, that up and down, because while you're working with 2 or 3 buyers, you can't be doing more, so you lose track of generating, so now you got to ramp that up again, and you have that constant roller coaster income. You have 1 or 2 good months and 2 or 3 bad months. And you're just on the hamster wheel of life. You can't go on vacation. You've got to take those phone calls and have to answer. You have a real estate job. For 99% of the real estate agents, they have a real estate job. And if you're happy with that, folks, no problem. Now, if you have the ability to take and sit on the beach and still get paid, that's a real estate business. Well, why is that important? Well, I want you to understand the power of business income. So that is me about 16 months ago. I took a horrific fall from my roof. For all intents and purposes, I should not have survived. I broke everything on the left side of my body. My hips, my legs, my arms, ribs, shoulders. I had a brain injury. I was a mess. Well, I was in the hospital for quite a while. So here's a question. If that was you, could you work with a buyer? If that was you, forget that I was in the hospital for a long time and couldn't walk. It was about 5 months before I could actually resume kind of normal activities. If you went 5 months where you couldn't work, and then let's say it took you, even a week to get a listing, and then 30 days to close, what would happen to you financially? if that happened, right? Could you go on listing appointments like this? The answer is no. And the answer, if you went 6 months without income, would devastate you financially. Now, you may go, Bob, I'm not dumb like you to go up on a roof in a rainstorm. And I would say, you're right. But guess what, folks? Bad stuff happens to good people all the time. It could be a relative gets sick or a parent gets sick, and you've got to spend time on that. I was dumb when my son was 18. He was diagnosed with cancer. He was a perfectly healthy child. What do you do when life comes up and kicks you? See, if you haven't created a real estate business, you're in trouble. The good news for me, the first month I couldn't walk, my income went up 71%. Completely unable to walk, do anything. The second month it went up 44%. I didn't have to lay in a hospital and worry about how are the bills being paid, how are my kids going to eat, all those kinds of things. That's when you have a business. So fortunately for me, I had been building a real estate business, not a job. So how do you do something like that? Well, see, this is part of it. We can plug you into these systems to do it. But that's cool. You're going to go through some agents, and they're going to come and they're going to go, and some of them won't do a good job. Guys, that's just life. That's just business. But what if we can set it up where you've got a large brokerage like us, 35 states, 466 agents paying your referral fees every month? Well, now you can spread that leverage. You can spread the work. And most of those people, folks, so that you know, I hired 56 people that turned it into 466, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I only had to hire 56 people, and it turned into 466. They did all the work, not me. How do we do that? See, if we did what I just showed you, you become a listing agent, we go hire 10 buyer broker agents, the revenue that the brokerage would pay you would make your business valued at $1.12 million. If you currently went out and hired 10 buyer broker agents, what would the value of your business be? It'd still be zero, because nobody would buy it because, well, if you fell out of the picture for whatever reason and those agents left, there's nothing there. The way we build a business is different. It takes a team, right? I hired 56 agents. That team turned it into 466. I didn't do the work, they did. That's a business, right? So here's the thing, guys. I believe you're here today. It wasn't an accident. There's always a reason. It's a lesson or it's a blessing. I believe you're here today because I can share something with you that can completely change your life. I showed you a marketing system that you can plug into that can completely change your life. But now we got to figure out how to make the money work right. And so what I'm going to do is show you the platform that we use for compensation to be able to build that. And so the company's name is eXp Realty. Now, the thing is, trying to compare eXp to any other company is like comparing apples to oranges, because they're just not comparable. We work differently, which allows us to be paid differently, which allows us to earn differently.